That's it. And we're live. We are so happy that we have people joining to have this beautiful conversation with you. And I hope that once we've conducted this chat and we've learned so much from you, that people will also go and read your beautiful article. I've read it. I'm in awe
Okay,
because
thank you
not
very
only
much.
are you took my breath away. You're not
Thank you very much.
only, yes, this professional, and I will allow you to introduce yourself in a hot second.
All right.
But I also want to say you are clearly a person with a keen eye to observe not only systems, but I love to read that you can find the human behind it. And as someone that really has a huge gratitude for the word why and how much that can open and build connection, I absolutely adored reading it throughout your whole article too. And I'm so excited to learn a lot from you, and I'm sure all our guests will too. So
Thank you
the
very much.
stage is yours. Please introduce yourself to all our members joining.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nuhu Bobai, and sorry, before I start, full disclosure, I'm a bit under the weather, so just in case you hear me pause or stumble, just know it's my body talking. And but that said, I wouldn't have missed this chat for anything in the world, and I'm clearly excited to really be here. Now we'll move to what brought us here today. I'm sure that most of you have read my Medium article, or some of you have read my Medium article from Dawn Light to Deadline, where I shared my journey into the SAP like put Kingdom, and how I went from clueless to a master Shifu in the mystical arts of SAP. And I know some of you will be like, wait, that's not what I read. And you would be right. Truthfully, I went from clueless to being extremely clueless. But here's the thing, being in that state, being in that state only sparks questions. And that's where meaning begins. And that's what this talk is really about. Not mastery, but meaning. So I titled it Building Meaning Before Mastery. You see, when people talk about SAP, they often start with certifications, projects, success stories. But mine started with confusion, curiosity, and a bit of chaos. So let me begin where every meaningful journey starts, an honest beginning. When I first joined the SAP track, I had one picture in my head, being in a sleek suit, preferring solutions, that consultant having his head up high, making the big bucks. But that was all a dream. In reality, I came out with more questions than answers. And funny, that's where learning began. I started as a Dell brand manager, chasing numbers, clients, deadlines, big name, small paycheck. But what I was really learning was empathy through ambition, how to listen, understand pain points, and turn chaos into clarity. This was my first lesson in consulting. I just didn't know it yet. Then came Telium, where I worked as a network operations help desk team lead. It was fast, technical, and unpredictable. I learned how systems connect, how one small issue can cause a ripple in the whole operations. And this was my second lesson, systems thinking. Today, I work with the Nigerian Immigration Service, and I realized that every role up to now was preparing me for SAP. SAP didn't just teach me software, it taught me structure, perspective, and how to connect purpose with process. So, no, I haven't become that millionaire consultant in a glass tower, but I've become something better, someone who builds meaning before mastery. After Dell Tilium, I thought I understood systems. Then I met SAP and I realized I was only peeping through a keyhole. At first, it was intimidating, different terms, transaction codes I could not pronounce, and an interface that looked like it was built by aliens. But one thing kept me going: curiosity. I didn't know, or I didn't just want to know SAP, I wanted to understand it, how it works, how an idea becomes a process becomes a workflow, and how workflow becomes insights that save companies millions. So I stayed. My track was the logistics track, and I stayed and I studied over 700 hours. Late night, tired eyes, endless videos. But growth came slowly, like compound interest. And that's one thing about SAP. It doesn't reward speed, it rewards patience. And one day it just clicked. I saw how procurement connects to logistics, planning links to execution, and how data is the inevitable bloodstream of every operation. That's when I realized SAP isn't just a tool, it's a way of thinking. And that thinking led me to the SAP Z vision. Now, for those who do not know, the SAP Z is a special agro processing industrial zone designed to boost agricultural value chains, attract investment, and drive economic development through modern agro-processing and industrial activities. And I found that I could fit in through SAP. Think of the special agro-processing zone like a living body. Farmers are the cells, the clusters and processing plants are the tissues and organs, and the whole system working together is the body. But even the healthiest of bodies needs something vital, and that's the blood. And that's what SAP is: a circulatory system of data, keeping every part alive and connected and accountable. When I look at SAP Z, I could literally see SAP in it. Warehouses, that's where we have extended warehouse management. Raw materials turned into export goods. We had production planning, machinery that needed care, that's plant maintenance, moving goods from farms to markets. We had supply chain management as well as sales and distribution. And each model stood like an organ, independent yet connected. But when SAP integrates them, it makes the system efficient, transparent, and fully alive. And that's the beauty of it. SAP can exist anywhere. Where there's process structure and accountability, SAP thinking fits. Now, let me end this with a quick piece of advice for every learner. Before you chase being good at something, chase being grounded by why it matters. Because meaning fuels mastery, not the other way around. I was also made to know that exams are fast approaching, and depending on whatever track you are, I just wanted to give a bit tidbit on how I was able to overcome it, or our group, our cohort. We opened WhatsApp groups, circle groups, and we debated past questions. Don't be afraid of disagreements once you're debating these past questions, because that's where you understand truly what the question really entails and what the answer really should be. And when exam time comes, stay calm. You've done the work, trust it. Don't chase perfection, chase understanding. Because in this journey, curiosity beats confidence, intent beats experience, and consistency beats talent. SAP taught me systems, yes, but it also taught me to see myself as one, integrated, configurable, and always evolving. Thank you very much. I'm Nuhu Bobai, an SAP certified associate, a proud product of the Umuzi Educate to Learn, where meaning met mastery and my transformation began. Thank you very much. Hello.
Bobai, thank you for such an amazing presentation, man. Um,
You're welcome.
I think we've just lost Anshin there due to connection, but
Okay.
I wanted to just take a moment to just say how amazing that was. I think you gave us such an amazing perspective on what SAP is over and above just the actual course and the impact it had on your entire life. Um, and I also just wanted to go through some of the comments and some of the quotes that you've made. In
Okay.
this entire presentation. I think the one thing you said at the start was SAP didn't just teach you software, it also taught you structure and perspective. And you said something as well around how SAP also wasn't just systems, it's a way of thinking, and it taught you that
Yes.
as well. I want to expand on how exactly has it taught you to think? Um, and how has it improved your ability to come up with, I guess, solutions and innovations?
Okay. SAP taught me to think in a manner such as where there are processes, where there are structures that need accountability, if I put it that way, SAP can fit. Like I spoke about in the SAPZ project, where you see that there's going to be transportation of goods down to or let me even take let me come down to my office. When you talk about processes, operations, human resources, these are things that you can structure. These are things that need accountability, especially in terms of finance, and they need transparency. One thing that SAP did for me is that I always see the SAP in everything I'm doing now. When it comes to finances, when it comes to transportation, even in the SAPZ, there are things like middlemen. There are things like sorry, I'm feeling a bit woozy. The things like transportation, materials management. There are warehouses. There are going to be production and stuff. SAP can fit into these things. There are modules. These modules such as extended warehouse management, production planning, um, supply chain management, sales and distribution can fit into things like this. So I don't know if I've been able to answer your question, or if you want me to throw a bit more light on it, but I'll be happy to do so if I was not able to answer it. Sorry about I'm feeling a bit woozy.
I'm so sorry I left you. It was my internet. It wasn't me. No idea. Are you still feeling good?
I can still
Just
manage.
wanted to check. Okay.
Yes.
There's a question coming in. And what support was and is still on offer from the Umuzi team?
Sorry?
Um, one of our learners or candidates, Nduduzo, asked, and what support was and is still on offer from the Umuzi team?
Sorry, I did get the question.
The question said, thanks for sharing, please, and
Yes.
wanting to know how the team at Umuzi is still helping you to prepare for your current role and what type of support they still offer to you.
Okay. The Umuzi team has really been helpful, supporting us. We have been integrated into a job search, a job platform whereby jobs do come up on SAP. Apart from that, we were moved into the Learners Block 4, and for Learners Block 4, where we had hands-on experience on SAP. That's practical experience on SAP with their demo softwares. This gave us that practical because there were issues of most SAP recruiters asking for a bit of experience and uh, hands-on skills on SAP, and these are the things that Umuzi had helped us to do. We still do talk with them in the town hall meeting every week, and we still do tell them our challenges, and they have been really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Anything else you wanted? I'm so sorry I left you for a few moments there. But anything else you can think of? Like, I really appreciated your article and seeing how you still use your curiosity, your why. And I'm wondering, how do you feel every day while you're working now in your current role? How do you feel that that you can have that agency to actually ask the question, why is something's happening, and how can you actually make a huge difference in the way that you come in with your SAP thinking? How do you feel like you can actually improve on systems that you're currently working on?
Okay, if I got the question correctly, how do I apply my why and systems thinking in my everyday life? That's basically
Yes,
sums it up.
exactly.
Yes. When you move around, when you look around, there are problems everywhere. The job you're in, even just organizations, even your daily life, there are always problems, and these problems always have a solution. I've always been that of that mindset that every problem has a solution. The problem is you don't just know the solution yet. And the question why always takes me one step to the solution, because when you first of all understand why that problem exists, you better understand how to solve it. And SAP to me has really helped me enter that systems thinking, way, manner in which every time I see a problem, I'm always like, how can SAP solve this problem? Some I don't have the answers immediately, but some I do get some small insights. Okay, like the other day, I was speaking to somebody and he spoke about, I was speaking to somebody on the SAP Z project, and I was telling him how I could fit in through logistics, manufacturing aspects, and bringing them together to create transparency and accountability. And he said that, oh, he works with universities and he has this issue that they're trying to solve whereby their personnel, the human, their workers don't really come to the office the way they ought to. They probably skimp out on their duties, and that if I could bring up a solution pertaining SAP on the matter, and I smiled because SAP has a module that deals with human resources. I sent it over. I wrote a proposal to him. I sent it over to him, and he has connected with me. I was like, wow, that he would want me to throw more lights on it. Oh, I wrote a proof of concept thereabouts, not a proposal, a proof of concept, highlighting how success factors could help with that their human resources issues. So these are part of the ways whereby systems thinking, SAP, and the reason and the state of always asking why can help out. Hope I answered the question.
That's a beautiful answer, and it's so wonderful to see how you use that systems thinking and can really speak to the need that still exists within your workspace, and even broader than that. You also mentioned earlier on that starting the SAP program is not easy. Um, it's not an easy place to find yourself. And I would really like to know, not just for our viewers, for all the learners to come still, what do you think was maybe some of your building blocks, or some of your healthy coping mechanisms to really embrace this learning curve, and to really immerse yourself in this learning?
I smiled for this question because would I say I don't have a healthy learning curve? I'm this person that it could be healthy depending on who is listening. I kind of zone in. If I don't understand something, I beat myself about it. I'm not saying people should do that. It's just my own way. I beat myself, but in a healthy way. And I try as much as possible to at least get something, understand one thing about what I'm reading. It may not be all, but from that one little thing that I'm able to understand, I can ground, and lay a foundation for others to come. Now, to be honest, by the time I wrote, even after I wrote my exams, I did my 700 hours and the like. I could not boldly tell anybody what SAP was about. I, if you ask me, oh, what is SAP? maybe I may just tell you, oh, it's an ERP system that optimizes processes for organizations, and I'll just stop there. I wouldn't be able to go into further details and stuff like that. But when I started thinking, okay, how can SAP fit into the real world that I live in? I started understanding a lot of things. I started understanding most of those stuff that I felt I read, I couldn't remember, started flowing back. If I could not really remember the process or the concept around something, I go back to read about it and relate it to whatever brought up the why question or why I should read it in the first place. And that was how I was able to at least start relating SAP to one or two things. And I think that's what my learning process is. I am more of a do it than read it type of person.
Experiential learner.
Yes.
I see you in that. That is a beautiful answer. And it's so good to be able to relate that to more important things in your life if you know and understand it. There's another question. What does a world where meaningful work and impact is at the forefront of developments?
Sorry, please, could you repeat the question?
Let me repeat it. What does a world where meaningful work and impact is at the forefront of developments? What does that look like?
Where meaningful work and impact is at the forefront of development.
So if those are your values, yes.
I haven't really thought about it, and I may not really have a good answer for that right now. Well, I feel that where meaningful work and impact. Sorry, because a bit of context about where I stay or where I live in Nigeria. This question seems more like a fallacy. I won't go more into details, but it seems more like a fallacy. And dignity of labor. If I should go back to my economics when in my secondary school, dignity of labor isn't really respected here. So, but I believe that in a world whereby meaningful work spearheads development, I think we should be able to make headway much more in life, make apologies for the pause, make more meaning out of what we do. And making more meaning out of what we do is more likely to create large scalable impact, especially in development. I don't know if I answered it, but I tried to the best
No,
of my
you
knowledge.
did.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And it's so good to bring the context of where you live and where you work as well. Here's love your passion for logistics and how involved you are getting at work. Keep it up. How is your
Thank
current
you.
team and manager nurturing this for you, this passion for logistics?
This passion for logistics, my current team and manager, and to be honest, they really can't see what I see. And still bringing it back to my current country, we have to, we that know, especially things like SAP and have more insights into systems thinking processes and meeting a generation of people that are more of the because I still have them in my office. They're more of the manual type of people, the paper type of people. They do not know that, or they do not feel that change change is necessary. They fight against change. Being someone who embraces change in a workplace where change is not embraced is not easy. But one thing that I figured out is that, sorry, I'll bring an analogy. Like a viper that waits for its time to strike,
Beautiful one.
opportunities always
Powerful one.
avail themselves. Yes, opportunities always avail themselves for you to prove yourself. So I just feel that if you're in that type of situation as I am, which I know a lot of my Nigerian people would really be in that type of situation, opportunities will always present themselves, but know when to identify it and strike like the viper, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. I'm sure, like the example that you used of how to put systems in place to make existing problems, how to solve that. I mean, when you prove yourself with the system, how can they not not be able to be open to more change? Is there anything you can think of, that any little bits of wisdom you want to share with our candidates on maybe how to put themselves out there when it comes to finding opportunities, maybe how to stay motivated? That would be very welcome.
Okay, I'm of the philosophy that every disappointment, I always believe there's a lesson that I should have learned from it. And I'm this type of person, so I would not half full rather than half empty. I have met my fair shares of disappointments. I've made my fair shares of failures, and just be optimistic. Be optimistic. Always see the brighter side of everything. Always, always be happy. I know it sounds simple to say, but it's really underrated. Always be happy. Every disappointment has a reason why it came to you, and it only serves to strengthen my disappointments, my failures, especially when I highlighted when I worked with Dell Computers as a brand manager. I worked with Tilium as a team lead, and I made my fair shares of mistakes. And these mistakes, because like the Nigerian Immigration Service is a paramilitary organization whereby there's a clear definition in hierarchy, and I'm a senior officer and I head junior teams. And there are times in which you have to understand, do you handle them with swift precision and strictness, or are you much more flexible? Are you much more flexible with them? And I wouldn't have been able to manage the teams the way I do if not for my past and previous experiences, both the failures, the successes, and the likes. It's all of these things that culminated into me being who I am right now. And I embrace them because without embracing them, you wouldn't have an identity. Hope that makes sense.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense. And that, again, it's not just your written words, so also your spoken words. You're really a wordsmith. Yes, Siyabonga. We had a session, Bobai, last week, and we also spoke about interviews being quite hard because sometimes it ends up in a lost opportunity, you might deem. But some learners or some of our candidates had gone through interviews and did not land the opportunity. And we have to be careful to be so critical of ourselves, saying that we messed up an interview, because in that specific scenario, it might not have been a good culture fit. So, like you said, every failure, I'm using quotations here, might be an opportunity for another door to open. And maybe a room that's more fitting for you to fit in and be yourself. But I absolutely loved that you said we have to reflect on these life lessons. Let's call them rather life lessons than mistakes, because that's when we really learn more about ourselves. And like you said, it forms your part of your identity. So yes, maybe if you can share something, a big life lesson that you went through that really, after reflection, deepened your understanding into the human that shows up at work. Can you think of such a scenario?
I can think of two. One is mine, one is not mine. It's also the person was also part of my cohort, and he lost an interview, or he lost job placement because he couldn't answer what the T code was. But if I ask him what is the T code right now, he would boldly tell me, even from sleep, he'll tell me. Because he learned from it. And a second one was I lost a fellowship placement. And to be honest, during the interview of the fellowship placement, like I said, I'm an immigration officer, and placement was more on data science, geographic information systems. I chose the geographic information systems pathway. And during the interview, I was asked, um, what have I done with GIS? To be honest, I hadn't done anything with GIS, but I had an idea of what it was. And I had already linked it. I had this well-prepared speech linking it to what I do, how it can help them, because they were more on health systems, trying to figure out it's an organization that's in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and so they're into health systems and how they can make it better in my state, Kaduna State. So I linked it to GIS, what I knew, my job, because my job speaks, I deal with immigration. So that means I have more information on migration patterns. And the question I asked them was that, how can you truly achieve SDG 3, which is on good health, if migration is not factored into decision making by the state governments? Are you truly serving? Are you truly achieving the SDG 3? And I saw most of them started like, I think I put the panel in thought. There was this brief pause, like, wait, we haven't thought about this. And I was so sure coming out of the interview that I would have gotten that placement. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. But I didn't despair, because I thought about it, and I felt there was nothing that should have not made me get that placement. But like I said, I always talk about my geographical location, and whereby merit isn't meritorious, if I put it that way. But but a feedback I got from that was that I'm on the track. I may not see it yet. I might have wowed them. I might not have wowed them. But if I didn't wow them, I researched, I looked at what I did right, what I didn't do right. And tomorrow, if they call me for that interview, I know how to handle it. I know what to say to them. I know how to say it. I know how to compose myself. So I feel that in everything you do, like I always said, there's always a brighter part. There's a brighter aspect of it. And if you can check that side where the sun shines, you will see a lot of lessons to learn. Thank you.
What a wonderful perspective on being optimistic. When you are prone to look for the bright side, you are prone to also attract opportunities to you, because you're a person that people are like, what is he getting right? Why is he being so optimistic and joyful and happy? So that is a very good tip to share with everyone. Any more questions from our viewers? People that joined the conversation? Bobai, are you still doing good? Can I tell them what you think you have? Because I am in awe that you are here.
Thank you.
So Bobai suspects he has malaria. So I just want to also commend him, but also say, I can't believe you are here, you committed to it, and we are very grateful to have you here. But we are also rooting for you to take proper care of yourself,
Thank you.
and that you will be back to good health very soon.
Thank you very
Is
much.
there maybe any last things that you want to leave with our viewers?
I think I have summed it all in everything I've said. And always look for meaning in everything you do. What is the why in this? Why is it this? Why is that? Why is that? Meaning, you get the solutions. You get the understanding. Let me give an example. Um, I always use my geographical location as a set of people. Now that apology is not because of um, it's also part of being polite, but it's not really the politeness. We usually apologize for the previous person that offended that person. We always apologize for that previous person that offended that person, so he doesn't transfer his aggression towards you. So you go, oh, sorry, please, I hope you're not so busy. Please, do you know where I can get or how I can get to so and so place? So we understand subconsciously that everybody has what they're going through, and that if that person lashes out at you, we understand that no, you are not the fault. The person must be going through something or probably has a bad day. So this is the why. If you understand the why, why the person lashes out at you, you can be more empathetic and more understanding. You won't get angry. Like, what did I do to you? Why are you angry at me? So that's why I said always seek the meaning and understanding and mastery will follow. Thank you.
That's so beautiful and powerful. And I do hope everyone will go to LinkedIn and read your beautiful article, because you summarize it so beautiful. This is exactly how you build the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. So thank you so, so very much for being here and really
Thank you very
inspiring with your deep, meaningful work and just the way that you approach life and work. So we are eager to learn a lot from you still. Looking forward as well. And like I said, wishing
Thank
you a
you very much.
speedy recovery. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Any questions still before we say goodbye? See last remarks. You're welcome to also leave thank you in the comments. There you have one. Any tips, if there's peers or anyone wanting to share a thought or just any word of wisdom, you're welcome to do that. And that's it. We are very grateful for your time. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Diesel also saying thank you. And we are wishing you so much goodness and health. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.